All right, guys, this is part 2. Let's jump right in. All right, guys, so we're continuing what we started just a second ago with halves. So, as you'll recall, we started out with our number line, which went from 0 to 1 whole with half in the middle, because that's exactly where it was. And we made 4 different area models for 4 different equivalent fractions. These all show 1/2, but they show it in different ways. And we got that way by multiplying the original fraction of 1/2 by the amount of cuts that we made. So we doubled the amount of pieces in 1/2, so we multiplied it by 2 on the top and the bottom. We got 2 shaded in pieces out of 4 altogether. We got 3/6 as an equivalent fraction by multiplying 1/2 into 3 sections, because we went from just having 1/2 over here to having 3 extra pieces done. 1, 2, 3. So we got 3/6. We're going to continue this with the 1/3. So what I want you to do is take your 1/3 paper strip. What we're going to do is we're going to put a 2 right here, because this is the second problem we're talking about. 2. And I want you to go ahead and use this as a guide to help you make your number line. And I'm actually lining mine up right here with this blue line, just because it happens to be helpful. So I'm going to put a slash right here, because that's the edge of my number line. And I'm going to put a slash right here, because that's where one of the partitions is. I'm going to put another one right here. I'm going to put my final one at the very end. All right. And then I'm going to use a ruler. Or if you wanted to, you could use the top of your number line, I suppose. And we're going to quickly make a number line just like this. I'm going to be very accurate. There we are. So what I'm going to do is put 0 and 1 right here. This time underneath, what I'm going to do is put how many thirds each of these lines are. So right here, this would be 0 thirds, because we don't have any of the pieces. It's 0 thirds. This is going to be 1/3, just like that. This is going to be 2/3. And this is going to be 3/3, because 3/3 is just another way of saying 1 whole. Continuing on, now that we have our number line, let's continue with what we started yesterday. So I'm going to draw a box right here, and we're going to talk today on this first problem about how to make different models of 1/3. Just like this. Okay, so we're going to try 3 or 4 different ways to make area models that show 1/3. So again, what we'll do here is we'll kind of make a box about 1 inch up and down, or about 2 lines, about the same amount apart, just kind of eyeball it, back up and across. So what I like to do when I make thirds, I typically will go up and down, right? So here we have 1, 2, and again, this doesn't necessarily match up with this. This would just be blank. We're showing models that show 1/3. So I'm just going to shade in 1 of these 3 pieces, because we have 1, 2, 3 pieces. And we know what this is underneath. We're just going to write 1/3. This is all this model shows, 1/3. Over here, I'm going to draw another box, and I'm going to go ahead and partition it again. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to shade it in. So I have another model that shows 1/3. Now you're an intelligent student. You're probably thinking, where could I draw a line here to show another fraction, another equivalent fraction? Well, check it out. What about if we draw a line? So we have 1, 2, 3 pieces. What about if we draw a line right here, 1 line, which cuts it into 2 additional pieces? So we had 1, 2, 3 pieces, and now we have 6, because we made 1, 2, 3 pieces into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by drawing 1 line. So we basically took that and split it into sixths. So the way we show that with numbers is we had 1/3, we multiplied it by 2 because we cut it in half. I know that sounds weird to cut something in half and multiply, but it's the case. It's exactly what we did. We doubled the amount of pieces. We had 3 pieces, and then we had 6. So this equals 2/6. What I want you to do is to try and come up using the same strategy, same strategy with two other fractions that are possible for you to get with this model, all of which show 1/3. And I'll check in with you in a second. Try these on your own. So tell you what, I'll go ahead and set up the boxes for you, just like this. So you can copy these. Remember, we're going to start out, I'll go ahead and partition them as well. 1, 2, 1, 2, and you should be able to make nice horizontal cuts. Give it your best shot, and I'll check in with you. All right, guys, I asked you to partition one of these two, or actually both of these right here, sections of 1/3, and see what other equivalent fractions you could come up with. So I'm going to go ahead and shade. I've gone ahead and drawn one on the left here, and I'm going to come to this one on the right here in just a second. I'm going to tell you why I drew it like that. First, I need to go ahead and shade in my one on the left here. So here is the 1/3 that we talked about. There's 1/3 shaded in, right? Looks just like this one, looks just like this one. So 1/3. Now, here we have one section, two sections, three sections. That's 1/3. Over here, it looks like we have 1, 2, 3. This is cut into thirds as well. Guess what? This is going to help us multiply this. We're going to take this. We're going to cut it into three sections. Three extra sections, excuse me. Watch what happens. We're going to multiply 1/3 by 3/3. 1, 2, 3. Watch this. Interesting. So basically what just happened was we had 1/3. We multiplied it by 3/3. And guess what? Now how many do we have? We have 1, 2, 3 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 3/9. Interesting. Now, while I have you here, let me just show you one more example. Alright guys, I just did a little magic there, and I've duplicated what I have before. I want to show you one other example really quickly, another way that we can do this. Now I'm sure you're thinking, okay, so I did the third thing, you know, that's kind of what we have right here, and I have my 1/3 just like all the other fractions right here. What's another way I can do this? Well, check it out. Let's try doing this real quickly here. So what I'm going to take is I'm going to draw one more horizontal line right here, and let's see. I'm going to put it right in the very center, just like that. Now, I want to know, do you have a prediction as to if I take this guy right here and I slide it over on top of this, how many pieces am I going to have? We have 3 pieces over here, and we have 4 pieces over here. Think about that for a second. Just get a prediction in your head. I'm going to go ahead and move this over. Alright guys, here we go. And if you said, well, there are 3 pieces on the left and 4 pieces on the right, so if you put them on top of each other, you will get 12 pieces altogether, then you would be correct, because 3 times 4 equals 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's write what we did there. We started out with 1, excuse me, I want to do this in black, so I match. We had 1/3. We multiplied it by 4/4, and we got 4/12. Because as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There you have it. All right, boys and girls. So you can do the same strategy with any other fraction. The only thing is you won't be able to move yours as easily as mine, but you can just draw it on the left and draw it on the right, and then draw another one with both of them on top of each other. It won't be too hard. So try this with fifths and see how it goes, okay? I have one other example I want to ask you guys in a second here. Okay guys, checking back in with you here. Right now your notes should look just like this. Here's problem 1, problem 2, and I've gone ahead and filled in just what I did electronically a second ago. I cut this into 3 pieces and this into 4 pieces, and you see we had 3/9 and 4/12. Our other equivalent fractions for 1/3. 1/3, 2/6, 3/9, and 4/12. You can see are the equivalent fractions. For the next one, what I want you to do is grab your 4ths strip right here. This one we're going to line up a little bit differently. So I want you to go ahead and put 3 right here. Actually, excuse me. We'll put 3 just a little bit higher. Give yourself an extra line. And again, accuracy is really important. I'm going to tell you why we're kind of lining this one up a little bit differently here in just a second. So go ahead and put your slashes right here. So that's 1 slash at one end. Here's another slash right here on this end. And go ahead and draw your number line. I'm doing it right along this blue line. It's not perfect. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have used my eraser. What a rookie move. Or not eraser, excuse me, my ruler. What a rookie move. Getting sloppy in my old age. Here we go. So now we have from 0 to 1. So we want to go ahead and label this 0 right here. We'll label this 1. I'm going to bring this back here. I'm going to go ahead and put some slashes on my line where we have right here. Anytime there's a break, and this is a break right here, I want you to go ahead and put a line there. So there's one right here and one right here. Okay. So let's label these real quick, shall we? This is 0/4. And you know what? Why don't you go ahead and try and label the rest real quick? I'll wait. Okay. This is 1/4. This is 2/4. This is 3/4. And this is 4/4. Okay. Now, what about this? So far, I've asked you to find, okay, we found 1/2 right here. This is the fraction we were looking for. Okay. Right there. And we found 1/3 right here. And right here we have 0/4 to 4/4. What about if I asked you to find 5/4? I know you're thinking, there is no 5/4. You just go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4/4, right? Excuse me, I wrote a 0 here. There should be a 1. Well, guess what? 5/4 is actually a little bit more than 4/4. I'm just going to show you one example of this. So if we were to continue our number line out here, 5/4 would be something, and this isn't exact, but it'd be like right here. It's a little bit more than 1, 5/4. And if we were drawing this, what we would do is we would say, okay, here's one box about 1 inch wide, and we'll divide it into 1, 2, 3 pieces. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. But we can only possibly get 4. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, or excuse me, 3, 4. You know what we have to do? We have to draw another box divided into 4ths. Just like this. And you know how many of these we have to shade in? Just 1. Because we have 5/4, right? This is 1 and 1/4, or out of each of these boxes is cut into 4ths, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have 5 of them. So this shows 5/4. Let me show you an equivalent fraction real quickly here. Or actually, you know what? Why don't you do an equivalent fraction? I'm going to draw one right here, one right here, and I'm going to go ahead and divide these. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'll shade these in. And as soon as I get done shading these in, I want you to try dividing this and showing me an equivalent fraction for 5/4. Pause right now. All right, boys and girls. This is one way to do it, although you may have chosen another. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to draw a horizontal line right here in between these, and guess what? That cuts it into 8ths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it's cut into 8ths. So we had 5/4. We multiplied it by 2, okay, because we just cut it, we doubled what we have. We have 4, now we have 8. Multiplied it by 2. And the fraction which we have now is 10/8. See if you can find one more in your notes. And boys and girls, this is about the end of the lesson after you get that last equivalent fraction. Only other thing I want you to do is reflect on the learning target. Have a good day.